Welcome to AI Stories. Sit back, relax, and enjoy listening to this alternative ending to the Titanic by an AI. As the Titanic began to sink, Jack and Rose frantically searched for a way to survive. Amidst the chaos, they stumbled upon a secret room hidden deep within the ship, where they discovered a mysterious device that could alter time. Desperate to save themselves and the other passengers, Jack and Rose used the device to go back in time and prevent the disaster from ever happening. They found themselves transported to a few days before the Titanic's maiden voyage and began working together to change the course of history. They discreetly warned the ship's crew about the iceberg, but they were dismissed as crazy and the warnings went unheeded. However, Jack and Rose were not deterred. They continued to make changes, small and large, to try to prevent the tragedy. Time-traveling Titanic rescue. As the fateful night approached, Jack and Rose knew they had to do something drastic. They came up with a plan to gather as many passengers as possible and create a makeshift raft from whatever materials they could find on the ship. Using their quick thinking and resourcefulness, Jack and Rose convinced the other passengers to join them in the effort to create the raft. They worked tirelessly, tearing apart furniture and gathering any materials they could find that would float. As they raced against time, the ship's crew tried to stop them, but Jack and Rose were determined to save as many lives as possible. Eventually, they were able to create a raft that could hold several passengers. But as they were about to launch the raft, they suddenly heard a loud explosion. They realized that the ship had hit an iceberg and the raft would not be enough to save everyone. Thinking quickly, Jack and Rose decided to use the time device to transport a portion of the passengers to a nearby ship, the Carpathia, which was on its way to the Titanic. They were able to transport a group of passengers, including women and children, to the Carpathia just in time. However, as they attempted to transport the rest of the passengers, the time device malfunctioned, and they were unable to use it again. As the Titanic began to sink, Jack and Rose worked tirelessly to save as many lives as possible. They helped guide passengers to safety and found a lifeboat that they were able to use to escape the sinking ship. However, as they were rowing away from the Titanic, a sudden wave hit the lifeboat, causing Rose to fall overboard and disappear into the icy water. Jack was devastated by the loss of Rose, but he knew that he had to keep going and continue to save as many lives as possible. He used his quick thinking and resourcefulness to help guide the lifeboat to a nearby ship, the Carpathia, which was on its way to the Titanic. Once they arrived at the Carpathia, Jack worked tirelessly to help the survivors and ensure that they received medical attention and food. His bravery and resourcefulness inspired others to work together and help one another, even in the face of disaster. However, as time passed, Jack became increasingly haunted by the memory of Rose and the fact that he was unable to save her. He became consumed with grief and eventually decided to use the time device to go back in time and try to save her. But as Jack traveled back in time, he realized that changing the course of history was not as easy as he thought. His attempts to save Rose often resulted in unintended consequences and other tragedies. In the end, Jack was forced to accept that he could not change the past and that he had to live with the memory of Rose and the impact that she had on his life. His legacy lived on as a symbol of the power of love and the resilience of the human spirit in the face of tragedy.